Hello, fellow artists. It is raining leaves in my front yard today. So, what's an artist gonna do? Paint one. Paint this fall leaf with me today with watercolors, watercolor pencils, plus some bonus tips for the pumpkin.
Just gonna start with a yellow base, and this is a Nugambash yellow, and I've got this window right here, so that might be why if it's a little white washed out, it's because the window, the sun is right there, so it'll give it a few minutes and it won't be so washed out. Now the cool thing about doing wet on wet is see how it stopped right there at the pumpkin. It's not going in the pumpkin because I didn't put any water there, so it's really kind of a cool thing. Wet on wet is amazing. So here we go with my new gambage, and I'm kind of just dropping in some of the yellow. And why I want a yellow base is because I want this really pretty yellow color to come through the reds and greens that I'm going to be doing. So I want this yellow, which is pretty much right here in the center of the leaf. I want that to really show through and have like a glowing kind of effect. So that's the goal. And let's see, so this one, then you don't really see that part. There we go. Okay, then, and I'm using a brush that's pretty pointy so I can get the pointiness of the leaves. It's the silver black velvet size 8 brush. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop in a little bit of green, and instead of picking one of the greens that I have, I'm actually going to add a cerulean bluish color to make my green, because I kind of want it brighter than the permanent. I have permanent sap green and I have hooker's green, but I want a brighter green, so I'm mixing it with my new gambage to get more of a really bright green. So it's really nice how to control your colors, right? And some artists they'll put the blue in there and they won't even mix it on their palette. They'll just put the blue in there and see what happens. So, which is something like I can do. I'm just gonna put the blue in there, and because it's wet, I'm just gonna like mix it on the palette. So it's kind of a cool thing to do. And then I use a little bit more yellow, more gold. And it turns more yellow and it's turning more gold. Oh my gosh, okay. So this is not a voiceover. So I'm painting as I go. So I'm thinking, I'm painting, I'm thinking, I'm talking. Okay, so, and I kind of wanted to get just like a tiny little bit over here of the leaf, because when I put it down, I actually traced it, and when I put it down, you don't see, you don't really see anything else. So there we go. I'm gonna get some paint on there, just a little bit. Okay, so now, and let's see, so there's like a cool little turn in the stem. Stem has got like a couple of nice little curves, and at the end of it, we've got that pretty gold. Okay, so while it's still wet and it's drying a little bit, so that's okay, that's kind of nice. It's drying a little bit. Now what I'm going to do is, and I have my color chart, this is kind of a messy one, don't judge. I'm going to be making a better swatch. I'm going to go with probably Windsor Red to get that red in the leaf. Or quinacridone red is what I've been using a lot lately for all my pumpkins and everything. I kind of like quinacridone red because it does have a little bright. So either one you have, quinacridone or the Windsor red is pretty popular. So I'm gonna go with quinacridone, which is garlic, quinacridone. That's quinacridone. It looked a little brown on my, I'm gonna clean it up a little bit there. There. Okay, so I'll put quinacridone red right here so you can kind of see it. Just mix it in with the yellows there, that's fine. And gotta hurry up here while it's still wet. I'm gonna drop it in there and look at that fun, cool bleed. Isn't that great? I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see it. And just let it bleed down. And I purposely kind of have it turned over, or like, it actually went off the paper, but I didn't mind. Thought I would just make like a point like it was turned, so it kind of worked out. And here we go. I just love the bleed and the effect. Just for those of you that know me, my students, I'm constantly going back and forth between colored pencils and watercolors and watercolor pencils and all that kind of stuff. Okay. So now we have that. Just gonna let that dry. And while I have this, I kind of have the quinacridone red on my brush. The stem is quinacridone red, but you know what? It got kind of thick down here, so I'm just gonna wipe it up. Whoops. Let me pull back out. There we go. I'm gonna wipe it. I blotted just a little bit here because it got kind of thick, the stem. Well, that's okay, but now I'm gonna just do a little bit of the quinacridone red here for the line, for the stem. Let's make it a little darker. It's pretty dark, the stem, pretty dark red. It's so pretty. So I'm gonna leave that there. And now the veins of the leaf is the same color, but if I put it in now, it's gonna, spread. It's gonna bleed. So I'm not gonna do it yet. I'm gonna wait until it's more damp. So I think right now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go after this gold color of the leaf while it's wet. Then I'll let it dry. Oh, that's pretty cool. I love it when it bleeds like that. Let's kind of turn you kind of see I'm tilting it so the red bleeds out a little bit. That looks so pretty. Because I work on like a 10-degree incline, my drafting table. I don't work on a flat surface, so a lot of times the water's going this way, so I have to kind of tilt. That's why I like the sketch pad, because it's really easy to move it around, and I probably should have it. I need to put some clamps on here. So that's looking really pretty. I'm super happy with that. Now, before it dries too much, I'm gonna go, I have quinacridone gold, the bottom of my palette here, and I'm gonna bring it up here so you can see it. That's quinacridone gold. I don't know what brand this is, if it's Daniel Smith or Winsor Newton. I think it's Daniel Smith. It's kind of a little bit more opaque. Winsor Newtons are super transparent. So here we go. I'm looking at this leaf, and there's some really nice gold, but it kind of into the red. And so I'm just going to do a little bit of that. Just kind of charging. This is called charging. Add just a little bit of gold here. I'm really liking how the red is blending into the yellow. And then this side is really gold. So I'm going to go gold, 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 gold. And the green is pretty much like green gold over here on this side. And I actually have a color green gold. Paint somebody. Okay, that's nice. Now it's green in the middle. Again, while it's still wet, I went a really kind of a light green with, remember I wanted it like really light. So I think I'm ready for a little darker green. And let's see, you know what I could do is add more of a blue. So I did more of like a cerulean blue. I think what I'm gonna do is add I'm just thinking, I'm thinking, where's my greens? Sap green. You know, I think I'm going to go with the permanent sap green. It looks okay. Permanent sap green. So, and maybe just add a little yellow to it to kind of brighten it up. Let me see what that looks like. Permanent sap green with a little quinacridone. Or, I mean, this is gambage. Yeah, that's better. I like that better. Okay, so I did permanent sap green with the new gambage, and I'm going to hit it right here in the center because the center is really green. Get the edges here. Just touching, not doing anything major. I'm really liking the red right now. Don't want to mix up that too much. Okay. 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 There we go, there we go, and then I think what I'm going to do, because it's starting to dry, I'm just going to do that. And then it goes, right, a little spot there, and they don't, the veins don't really, they don't meet. Some of them do on a maple. So this is a maple leaf. Some of them do actually. You know, some of the, on some of the leaves, when I say they meet, do they meet at the main vein, like this side and then this side, or do they kind of stagger? So that's always kind of a, you know, something to make it look more realistic if they stagger a little bit, I think, my opinion. But the maple, it's both. It's staggering, and they're like, I'll try to show you what I'm talking about while this dries a little bit. So I think it's just important when you're doing it. So see here, there's one, and then there's the other one underneath it. So that's staggered. Then on this one, it looks like they're almost they're branching out the exact same. They're touching basically. But then this one is more staggered. This one's, the one's about the same. This red one is about the same. Whoops, sorry. This red one's the same. So anyway, you want to look at details like that, even though you're not going to do a super detailed leaf. Those small little details actually make a big difference. So, anyway, so I'm just lifting up a little bit there. I'm actually liking where this is at. I think I'm gonna actually let it dry. Yeah, I'm gonna let this dry. And I have my dryer here. And we'll get a second layer in and do the veins. I'm gonna tilt it this way because that red, I want that red before I dry it too much. I'm tilting that red a little bit, see if I can get a little bit more. Although I kind of like it going to one side. That's kind of cool too. Okay, I think what I'm gonna do is I have a dry size 0 brush, and I think that would be, would be a good time where it's just damp, is to do some of the veins. So I'm gonna do a little bit here, just a little wet, see what we can do here.
If you're finding this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this. Thank you.
I need a stronger brush. Let's see, my pointy brush. These brushes are just so great. I should say this brush. So I want to lift up because here it's lifting up, right? It's green, and then down here the vein gets red. So that's where I'm going to use the watercolor pencil. And let's see, I'm going to just do a couple more there. All right, I think I just wanted to do one, and maybe one more right here, because this vein goes red and then it goes light. So while I can still lift, I'm not too worried about it because I am going to go through it with, like I said, the watercolor pencils. There. Okay, fun. This is looking fun. All right, I'm gonna let this dry. Let me grab my watercolor pencils. Stand by. I'm gonna get. I have purplish red, scarlet, but what I always recommend to do is this is another swatch that I need to get done. This is scarlet, so that would be kind of a good red to do in the veins because it's nice and bright. I really like the Caran d'Ache Aquarelle Scarlet, or their museum aquarelle pencils. They're awesome. Those are the ones I'm using. And so I will be doing that. I was thinking about doing the purplish red, but maybe for the stem, I'm going to leave it out just for the stem. It might be fun to get a little purple in there. But right now, I think while it's still a little damp, I'm going to take my scarlet red and here's my leaf. Let's see, see it there. I'm going to start doing, see, my stem definitely got too big, but that's okay. Lighten, I can maybe erase some of the stem a little later. Now, let's see, so the red part of the stem, it stops about right here. So I'm going really, really thin. I don't even know if you can see it on camera. And then it kind of curves a little bit, so trying not to go too thick. It curves and then meets right up here, and it's still a little damp, the paper. Definitely still a little damp. Okay, now I'm gonna, and they connect, and then here's, I don't know if you can see it on camera, but here's where it lightened up a little bit. So this part of the stem is light, and there's some kind of cool little red edges here. So I'm gonna just do that. More red. And when I add water to that, it will look really neat. It'll look really dark on the edges. Then the red on this side, and I think I'll turn a little bit down here. So I'm gonna connect, so the red actually goes like this. And it does a curve because of the leaf is, you know, it's bending a little bit up. So I'm trying to get that curvature here. So it does this bend right here. And then it starts to twist even, so. And we got enough red, I think, in here, but I can just use the pencil and get another layer of red in there. And okay, kind of the same thing here. I'm going to do a couple of red edges that are pointy. All right. And let's see. Okay, so I got that in. Let's leave that because I do want to do another layer of green for sure. I'm pretty much gonna just do exactly what I did before, like just another layer. So it's pretty much dry. So I'm gonna go and just drop. I'm gonna do wet on wet again. I'm gonna do the exact same thing, exact same colors. I'm just gonna go really light. I'm just adding some water. I'm not gonna activate the paint underneath. I'm like hardly touching. I'm just dropping the water in. Okay. All right. Okay, I did activate a little bit of the watercolor pencil. Activating a little bit here. But I got it pretty much under control. And, you know, wet on wet, it's actually if you're new, I definitely actually suggest to play with wet on wet because, like I said, the paint is just going to go where you put the water. So it's not when you have more control over it, I think, doing wet on wet than you do, say, just putting down some dry paint, right? And then just hoping you put the right marks down. Where wet on wet, you just have more control over it. You can blot if you put down the wrong, paint in the wrong area. You can just blot it right up. Usually the first layer, this is the quinacridone red again. The first layer dries like 50% lighter. That's right. So even if you did a mistake like in the first layer or something, you can easily cover it up with your second layer, doing the wet on wet. So yeah, I just wouldn't, I know I was afraid of watercolors when I started to paint, but once I discovered, once I tried the wet on wet, it eased, I had fun. That's pretty much what I did. I started to have a lot of fun. Okay, so I am going with my little green gold over here that I made with New Gombage and permanent. Is that green? Yeah. What I'm gonna do is just do kind of get in the vein a little bit more now. There we go. So now this is when you want to kind of use the base colors. Now I'm going to try to get them to come through. Without activating too much. But it's okay because it's pretty wet. So when it dries, I can just, when it gets into that damp mode, I can create the veins. And I honestly, I don't really want it too detailed anyway. I really, I'm gonna go with the gold actually. Get the gold in here. I think the gold is so pretty. And you saw how light it dried. There we go. And also, kind of a fun effect when you're doing the leaves is the cauliflower effect. The one where you do a drop of water and it spreads out, and some areas that effect can be really cool. I'll actually do it here, especially to create textures and that sort of thing. I'm purposely leaving that so the underneath kind of comes through. I'm leaving that. There, see, it's getting more vibrant now. Getting more gold in there. Okay. And let me just put a little gold right in here. I didn't wet this, so it's not wet this time. But there we go. Okay. So it's looking better. I could probably do a splash of green in there, but I'm going to go the veins, and then I think I'm good. So let me I'm going to get some pretty thick sap green on my brush. So you can see it's pretty thick right there. Oh, pretty thick sap green right there. And I kind of purposely letting it dry. I'm taking my time, letting it dry. And now I'm going to just charge in with the green just to get some more contrast in there and some more colors. I tempted just to do like a touch of blue, actually, which I think I will. Remember in the beginning I did that blue. It wasn't very light. So I could do a little ultramarine, or I could do something really fun and bright. Maybe swatch. Needs blue. Okay, I need a cool blue, basically, is what I need. I'm kind of thinking I'll stick with cobalt. Okay, Prussian blue cerulean. Okay, I'm going to just do a charge of, it's too, yeah, it's okay. Oh, so we're going to do the cauliflower effect here. Let me get this green, this kind of cool color. I don't know what color this is. I forget. I'm sorry, I don't know what color this is. I have to look it up. Yeah, I really like this color. It's like a, pumpkin is in the way. I don't know if you can see it there. It's that color blue that I'm using, and I kind of really like it. Hopefully I'll put it in the description when I upload this. I'll find it. It might be manganese blue. I might have had a little bit of that blue left. But I really like it. All right, cool. That's looking cool, huh? Okay, so the stem, not the best, but I'm not worried because we can fix it. Oh, and I was gonna do the little cauliflower thing. It's actually a little too wet. It needs to be a little drier, like damp, not super wet to get like a really good cauliflower effect. So I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna just play a little bit. I'm gonna add I think a little cadmium yellow to get a bright yellow. Let me see, I keep dipping into the green. I'm gonna just do a drop of cadmium yellow right there just to brighten it up. A drop of cadmium right there. Okay. All right, this needs to dry. So what I think I'm going to do while the leaf is drying a little bit, and I like it when it dries naturally too. I'm going to let it dry while I mess with the leaf, the stem, and then I'll dry it after. So anyway, this tool, the little scrubber, this is just the best thing in the world, especially for watercolor and watercolor mistakes. It's called the Scrubber Creative Mark, and this is a size 4. They have all different sizes. And what I'm going to do, because I'm really not digging the stem, is just lighten the edges a little bit. I don't really need to, and then as I go I can blot it. So again, there's another reason why you don't really need to be afraid of watercolors, because there are tools out there. There are tools out there to, fix any mistakes and that sort of thing. Especially when you're on cold press watercolor paper. I mean, I was just playing around with these leaves, just kind of warming up. And I'm gonna just get some of this off because I think the leaf being so thick is a little distracting. I mean, God, the stem is too thick. I think it's a little distracting. So that's why, another reason. But I like the painterly look of it, so I'm not gonna I don't want it perfect. I actually can make like a little highlight there on that side. So let's see. I'm gonna go a little thinner here and then I'll leave it alone. Just because I like the curve in there. It's got such a really cool curve, and then it being so thin, it's kind of fun. There. All right, I'm gonna leave that because I don't want it to get too messed up. Okay, and that's gonna look different when it dries. So now I just have to leave it, let it dry, and then I'm letting this drip. Okay, I think for the sake of time, I like where the paint is at everywhere, so I'm gonna use the dryer. I'm ready to go, and you can see that cadmium yellow where I put that. That's kind of cool. I'm liking the water. Okay. Oh, I think it's hot. Okay. Okay, it's still pretty wet. I'm just gonna let it. Actually, this is. I might have even passed the. So when it's damp like this, it's not totally dry. It's a good time to do that cauliflower. What I was saying. So, yeah, there you go. I just did a little cauliflower there. Just did a drop of water, and I'm just gonna let it spread. And now, with it being just a little damp, is actually a good time to do the stems with my watercolor pencils. And I've got a Naples ochre, which I need to sharpen. I've got a Naples ochre here. Which we'll see what it looks like when it's on. It may be totally different because I want it kind of green. Now I'm going through that cauliflower part. That's okay. Yeah, I like the color. I'm okay with it. I kind of want it a little more green. Let me see what I've got. Olive yellow. That's pretty. Kind of a greenish yellow. So let's see what that looks like. And it turns. Yeah, that's nice. And then let's see, we've got little veins going there. I'm way out of camera. Let me zoom in a little. Okay. Going in there. It's still a little wet, which is okay because the damp paper is kind of activating the pencil. So it's actually perfect. If it were drier, I would have to kind of go in and activate it myself with the brush. There you go. And like I said, I don't really want a lot of detail, so I'm just gonna do like this area And then the veins actually start getting really green in here. And here's our red vein, which is I still like. I do have this purplish red, which is kind of cool. But you know what? I'm gonna use, there's like a white, next to the vein is like a white kind of a highlight because there's like this tiniest little bit of indentation. So I'm going to try to get that, and that creates a little bit of contrast, which gives it a little depth, even the smallest amount. It's still wet, so I'm being kind of careful. Okay, even though I know it's going to dry a lot lighter, so it's going to dry a lot lighter. Oops. So I'm just going to kind of leave it, but actually I do want a little white next to it. Like I want to lift up, there we go, that's what I was looking for. See that little white right next to it gives it the depth. And my brush, I don't have anything on my brush. I don't have any water, I don't have anything on my brush. So it's just that it's a nice damp, the paper is just damp enough to where I can pick up the paint and underneath is gonna show. Just the colors underneath. So over here I can, yeah, it's still a little dry over here. It's dried, so that's fine. I'm gonna just leave that. I think we are ready for a couple spots. Get a few lights here, here. Light this up here. Okay, let me get a few more of little veins. I'm gonna use, this is the Scarlet. So let me get just a couple, are very light over here on this end, this side. The veins are like just a tiny little suggestion of them. And this one actually goes up over, which gives it like a, again, I want kind of like that look of it bending. Okay, I'm gonna clean that up. Let's see what we got here. I like that actually. A little, because it brings, it's kind of like, there's not a lot of attention going to this leaf over here, so it's giving it a little more attention. And you know what I can do? I can do the little cauliflower effect there and break that up. Yeah, I think that looks good. And then I think that would be a good spot for the cadmium yellow, because this leaf is pretty bright. There, just kind of cover what I just did. A little more green, and then I think I'm good. I don't want to mess around too much with it. While the leaf was drying, I actually went and did some painting on this guy here. So I was having some fun while this guy was drying. Yeah, just a little, you know, these are just kind of more practice leaves, and I don't, you know, this is a sketchbook. I don't expect it to be an amazing work of art. It's just, this is really how you learn and how you improve. It's just playing around and not expecting each painting to be a masterpiece, right? Because then you're not having fun. And if you're not having fun, when are you going to make the masterpiece, right? I mean, you just got to keep going and going, and don't throw away your duds. I was watching a YouTube channel with a watercolor artist, and she's like, do not throw away your duds, because that's what you practice with. That's what you can do, especially if you're on cold pressed watercolor paper. You can go layer over layer over layer, and then just, experiment and have fun and see how the colors work together, see how they don't work together, see, maybe you'll discover a color that you love or a combination that you love, and then that could be something that you use a lot. And there's so many reasons to have just a practice type of a sketchbook or papers. So what I'm going to do now are the spots on Mr. Leaf here, and I think I'm happy with everything. I think it's looking okay. I kind of like what happened there, how it's dried so much lighter in there. I really was trying to get a little darker green, but it dried a lot lighter in there. So we'll see what happens when I do the spots, and I can always add some green at the very end if the spots don't work. So what I did here is just this is Van Dyke Brown, and I did it with my zero brush. Whoops, there you go. I did it with my Van Dyke Brown and my size 0. This was brush, and not wet. It's maybe a little damp in some areas, but definitely not wet. And I'm spotting, instead of doing the, this, I kind of want more control of the brown right now, so I'm not doing the flicking thing, but I'll probably do the flicking thing kind of towards the end. I just kind of want to see what it looks like, and I think I might actually add some blue spots. Maybe that's not dry yet. Just for some, contrast, some color. Those are getting too big. I don't want the spots to take over. Like, I don't want them to be the main focus or to look like, the measles or something. Sorry for the sniffling. It's all allergies, right? Total allergy time right now. Okay, I'm liking that. Liking where it's going. I think I will do a little blue. Oh wait, before I do that, the leaves up here, they have some brown on the edges, on their ends. I think that would give it a little bit more of a kind of a authentic look. I don't know if you can hear my birdies. I've got some finches in the background here. They're quite chirpy. They're in the sun right now, so they're quite chirpy. There. Well, we don't want it looking too perfect, right? And again, this brown is going to dry a lot lighter than there. And then I think, like I said, I'm going to get a little blue in there, because I love what happened with this blue. I think it's manganese blue, and with the green, I kind of want that back. For some reason, I'm just loving this blue green. There. Then I'm going to take the blue, and then I'm going to do a couple little splashes with it. Maybe get a little here. Just some suggestions. And while I'm here, I'm going to let that dry. And while I'm here, I'm going to touch up my pumpkin right here.
If you're finding this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this. Thank you.
So now that I need to do the stem of the leaf. That's right. What I'm going to do is take my Naples ochre and go Naples ochre, and then with the olive yellow mix together there, right next to the stem, and then at the end of the stem, it gets like real green and light, and then the red blends right in there. So now I'm going to activate it with my wet brush. There we go. And let's get a little more red. And I've got the scarlet. I have this orange cadmium red. I just need a contrast of red in here. I don't know if I want to go cadmium orange red or if I want to go violet. I think I'm going to go violet. I hope this is on camera. I think most of it was on camera. Okay. There we go. Let me do the green. Okay. There. Oh, all right, got a little green in there. There we go. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna stress over it. Okay, so, right. I'm letting the drops dry. And I'm gonna mess with the pumpkin a little bit. I'm gonna do it with, sorry with the sniffles. I'm gonna do it with, okay, here's white. And this was just kind of out of this pumpkin was, I don't know where I got this pumpkin from. It's out of my head, I don't know. But I'm gonna lighten it up here. I'm just going to do the edges of the pumpkin, make them a little cleaner so it stands out, kind of looks cool. And I really enjoy doing these colors. This is a Payne's Gray, and then the stem, I'm going to say, usually they're dark, and then there's like a white, kind of a center. Carmine Lake. That's Carmine Lake. Okay, I'm recording. Huh, interesting. Yeah, no, what I was looking for. Let's see. Chestnut. Yeah, chestnut is good. Blue, it's opposite the bluish is orange, right? So yeah, brown ochre. Yellow ochre. Brown ochre. Okay, so I've got a brown ochre. Just a little more definition here for this guy. Okay, and then I can activate it with the brush. Oh, where'd my brush go? Oh, where'd it go? I put it down over here. Where did I put my brush? Huh. Alright, I can't find my other brush, so did I drop it? Huh. Alright, I can't find my other brush, so I don't know what the heck I do with it. Alright, and then there we go. Okay, and I'm gonna actually, when that dries, I can make it even whiter. Okay, and then a little darker. Oh, geez, I put my brush in the pencil. I'm actually gonna do some black here, I think, just to get some. Hey, Lulu, leave it, honey. Come on. So it's kind of like painting a room, right? When you paint one area, or like basically your house, when you paint one area in your house, one wall, or say your living room, then like the den kind of looks like crap because the new paint looks so nice, and the old paint looks like crap. So it's kind of what happened here with my pumpkin. I mean, it was fine. I thought it was fine, but now that I have, the leaves around it looking pretty good, and my pumpkin kind of like needs a little love. So I'm giving it some love. And I'm just I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just playing. I don't have a reference. I just love this color is neutral tint, and I love neutral tint. So I'm gonna tilt a little bit. It dries so much lighter, so I'm not really worried. And I like the whole loose pumpkin thing anyway. And then what I'm gonna do is add a little yellow, or the gold. I think it's yellow ochre that's in there right now. They kind of complement each other, because neutral tint is like a purplish color, and then the complementary color of purple or violet is yellow, the opposite of the color wheel. So what I'm going to do is grab some of my quinacridone gold and just drop it in there. And I'm not mixing, because now when you mix complementary colors, that's when you get mud, okay? You don't want mud. You just want to drop it in there And then I had a little, I think I'll do a little up here because we're losing the, whatever that thing is called up there. I'm going to do a little, this is a little Van Dyke Brown. Get a little shadow in there. Get some shadows. Get some shadows. Just kind of playing around, trying to leave my super white color there. And then the base should be pretty dark, as they usually are. They usually have like kind of crud. They're usually kind of dark and spotty on the bottom. There. Kind of got into my leaf here a little bit, but I think what I'm going to do is just maybe make a little shadow. That's kind of something fun. Like there's a shadow on the leaf or something. Isn't that fun? That's so fun. Okay, and then this, you know what I could do here? I'm thinking like yellow. Plop in some yellow and be done with it. I'm going to go with plopping in some cadmium yellow and then be done with it. That's plopping. Plopping. Plopping, plopping, plopping in yellow. Plopping in yellow on my dead leaf. Plopping. There. See, layer after layer after layer till you like it. That's really what it's all about. I'm going to do a little yellow. Kind of up. Brush is a little big. Okay. A little mess. I made more of a mess there. Okay. Oh. Let's just see what happens. Let's maybe activate some of this yellow, blue. Make it look fun. Make it look fun. Gotta look fun. Make it look fun. Yay, fun. Okay. Fun. Oops. Didn't see that coming. Okay. All right, I think I'm good. I'm liking it. I think we do a little white. Oh, that's right. I was gonna let the pumpkin dry and do a little white. I think it needs a little white highlights. I will pull out my pen, highlighter pen, and see what I can do with that kind of cool pumpkin. Okay, so I've got my wonderful Faber-Castell Pit Artist Pen Brush, white, that I love. And I'm going to just do some highlights here so I get a little more definition of the pumpkin. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy. I like the nice natural white highlights. Here we go. Oops. Okay, that's kind of fun. Yeah, pumpkins have spots on them and stuff. Just gonna kind of play around with that. Good. And one more. This is black. Just getting a little structure, curves. Sniffles, sorry. Like that. A little blue. What is this? Prussian blue, perfect. Really liking the blue theme here. Do a little Prussian blue. Kind of goes with the okay. How's that look? There. The brush pen, it is water soluble, so that's why I like it so much. Alright, kind of fun. Just gonna leave it. Done. Walk away. Okay, everybody. I hope that inspired you to create some art. Do what you need to do to get yourself motivated and just play. Play. Get yourself motivated and play. Here's just, this is still wet, so I'm just gonna pick it up. The paint is like closing in on it, so I just keep taking my dry brush and going over it. So hopefully that was the last time for that leaf. And this guy, he's a bright, happy leaf. Okay, there's my little fall montage, and if you want to see the whole thing again with no commercials or YouTube commercial interruptions, it will be on my Patreon page. So you can see the real time without any YouTube commercials. Yay! It's patreon.com/Molly's Fine Art. Okay, ciao. Ciao, Bella.
If you're finding this video helpful, please hit the like button and subscribe if you want to see some more videos like this. Thank you.